Good evening and welcome into the East Side Center here in East Peoria, Illinois. It's the Peoria Sunday Morning League Game of the Week on Clutch Sports Media. Glad you're with us here on a beautiful night for baseball here in Central Illinois. Tonight we have the Kohl's Diamond Gallery Royals and the Crusens Reds duking it out here on ClutchSportsIL.com. And with that, good evening, everyone. Hope you're having a great Tuesday. I'm Jonathan Michael, and joining me just now in the booth is Tim Cundiff, former president of the Peoria Sunday Morning League. And Tim, this is not just going to be a great game, but a very special day, Keith Kelly Day, for the Sunday Morning League, as you just told all the fans here in attendance.
Absolutely. A beautiful night. Thanks for being here, John. Thanks for having me. And you are correct. What a beautiful night for baseball, beautiful night for a salute to history, a tribute to the man who broke the color barrier for the Sunday Morning League 74 years ago on this day when he stepped foot on the field for the Cohen's Furniture Ball Club. He threw his first pitch and changed the baseball game locally here, and we are proud to tribute and pay attention to him tonight.
Certainly, it's always a special day. I believe the first Keith Kelly Day was last year, so this is the second year that you're honoring Keith Kelly, and I believe, did you say 74 years ago that was?
1950 was the year, so 74 years ago he broke the barrier. Last year we were honored to have his family here on site for the ceremonial first pitch. We had proclamations from our local city and from the state of Illinois declaring this Keith Kelly Day across the state every year moving forward. June 11th, Keith Kelly Day here in the state of Illinois.
Very cool things indeed, and we're going to see a very good baseball game here. The Kohl's Diamond Gallery Royals and the Crusens Red. Kohl's comes in the upper hand in this one. They're 2-2. Crusens still looking for their first win of the year at 0-3. Still early on in the season, anything can happen. Our first time looking at both these teams so far this year. And getting set for Kohl's to lead things off is their center fielder and number one, Kohl Tanner. We'll get a look at the entire lineup here in just 1 second as Tanner fouls that one away. We'll take a look at how the defense lines up for Crusens and the entire lineup for Kohl's. It's Tanner, followed by Mike Dunn, Toby Turnquist, Clayton Welker, the Royals manager, batting cleanup tonight, followed by Braylon Smith, Easton Steck, Colin Dallaire, and Westerdahl and Drowns rounded out for the Royals. And you get a look at the Reds starting nine in the field as well. And Tanner looks at a strike there and makes it 0-2. On the hill for the Reds tonight is number 15, Ian Donaldson. A product of Carl Sandburg. He is 0-1 with an 8.75 ERA, but just 4 innings pitched, so still a small sample size. He's off to a hot start, strikes out Kohl Tanner.
Talked with manager of the Crusens Reds, Chris Mauerman, before the game. He's excited to see Ian tonight. Ian was amped up for opening game. The Reds are 0-3, but very easily could be 3-0 based on some tough breaks.
Very much so. Again, the Reds are a team that went to the Sunday Morning League Finals last year and were runner-ups for the Tomey Trophy.
They've been runners-up 2 years in a row now. So
always the bridesmaid, never the bride. They're hoping to change that streak this year as Mike Dunn, the right fielder for the Royals, has a loud fly out to right field. That one brought in by Jack Barham, another player from Carl Sandburg College. When I was doing the prep for this game, Tim, I saw that this game has some heavy Carl Sandburg influence, especially on the Crusens Reds.
So a big contingent, and that's what happens we see in this league. You get a few guys from a certain team. They have a good experience. They start recruiting their friends and their teammates, and that's how a lot of these cores of these teams get built. And, they might be wearing Crusens on their jersey, but they've got Carl Sandburg in their hearts.
It was like last week when we had the Tin Lizard Titans. You may as well call them the Tin Lizard Potters based off of how many Morton players that there were.
That's the Kruzik factor right there.
Yes, it is.
Manager George Kruzik, Hall of Honor member of the Sunday Morning League.
That one is belted by Toby Turnquist deep to right. That
Get
one,
out of there, baseball.
Kiss it goodbye. Toby Turnquist puts wood to ball and sends it out for his first home run of the year. The rising senior at Monmouth College, a big blast to right, and the Royals strike first here in the early going.
No doubter. Toby Turnquisted on that one and took it into the cheap seats out there in right center.
That one went a long, long ways, and I don't see home runs as often as you do in the Sunday Morning League. Again, that's because this is a wood bat league as Clayton Welker, again, the Royals manager, digs in. So, you'll see a couple players, have a couple of home runs each year, but, by and large, home runs are, coming to premium here in the Sunday morning league. So, Toby Turnquist, though, made it look easy as Welker looks at a breaking ball for strike 2.
The flag is really not moving, so that was not aided. There can be some days up here, some nights up here at Eastside Center where you get some wind assistance, but Toby brought it full force right there.
Turnquist is already having a good season this year. It makes him 5 for 13 with 4 RBIs now on the year, so he's had a good year for the Royals. Here's, again, Clayton Welker, a league veteran, only needs 4 more hits to get to 150. That's a significant milestone in the Sunday morning league. He's in his 5th season as a manager, and even though the Kohls wasn't a team that really stood out a ton in the regular season, they made a late playoff run and reached the semifinals last year.
They're off to a solid start, and Clayton tells me before the game, manager Welker tells me he's first game back after an ankle injury, and so it'll be interesting to see him if he has to put his ankle to the test running around the bases here. He's confident, though. He's feeling healthy, feeling good tonight.
Certainly, he's played well in limited action, at least at the plate. He's 2 for 3 with 4 RBIs this year, so he's certainly gotten it done. As on deck, if you were to reach, Braylon Smith, the Royals catcher tonight out of Lincoln Land Community College. Donaldson sets and tries to record out number 3 here. Swing and a miss. He got Welker. And 2 strikeouts for Ian Donaldson of the Crusens Reds there in the top of the 5th. But Toby Turnquist absolutely launches one to deep right. That one probably went a solid 340 at least. Right field fence sitting at 320 here at Dave Rogers Field here at the Eastside Center in East Peoria, Illinois. Glad you're tuned in with us here on Clutch Sports Media. We like to thank our great sponsors that help make tonight's broadcast possible, starting with BodyArmor, the official sports drink of the Peoria Sunday Morning League and the presenting sponsor of the CSM Sunday Morning League Game of the Week. As we get our BodyArmor right here, courtesy of Tim Cundiff. Can't wait to try that out later, as well as Kohl's Diamond Gallery up in Galesburg for all the best high-quality diamonds. Head over to Kohl's Diamond Gallery. And Crusens as well. I want to thank them for their support of the Crusens Reds. Great food, great drinks. They have it all. It's Crusens. 3 area locations here in Peoria, both on Farmington Road, War Memorial, and on Route 29 in Creve Coeur. I also want to give a shout out to Lori Vinovich as well, your local financial advisor in Tremont, Illinois. Talk to Lori. Give her a call at 309-925-3534. It's Lori Vinovich with Country Financial. Tim, you really came prepared today. We got lots of options with this BodyArmor.
This is these. We're honored to have Clutch Sports Media as a part of our Sunday Morning League history. Last year, when we officially launched, BodyArmor stepped up to the plate and said, "We want to step up and be the official sponsor. We're going to power the Clutch Sports with some BodyArmor, the official sports drink of the Sunday Morning League." They've been a solid supporter of the league for several years now, and I know the players enjoy it. And so, fans, while you're out there watching the game, lift up a glass of BodyArmor and cheer on your respective teams.
Certainly, and if you don't have any BodyArmor with it, next time you're at the grocery store, that's the place I need to go. I need to really get groceries. I might do so later tonight, and maybe I'll pick up some BodyArmor as well. Just try the fruit punch. Pretty good stuff, and hydration really hits you right away, but who else is going to be hitting here soon is the Crusens Reds, as I'll get eventually a look at their lineup soon, but to lead it off, at least, it will be Peyton Hankins. As now we'll get a...
The Reds come in, like I mentioned, they come in 0-3, but don't let that record fool you. They've back-to-back years in the championship series, back-to-back runner-ups. They've lost 3 games, but manager Maurerman tells me absolutely they could be 3-0. It's been some close games. And Chris tells me that they just couldn't quite get the clutch hit. And so his thought or his hope is with Clutch Sports covering the game tonight, maybe tonight's the night that they can come through with a clutch hit or two to get their get their first win of the season.
Certainly could be the case. You know, as we always say at Clutch, our maybe official, unofficial motto is #clutch-up. We'll see if the Reds can clutch up. As here's Peyton Hankins. He's having a good year, batting in the leadoff spot. Another Carl Sandberg player here for the Reds. He's 4 for 8 on the year. Brings in plenty of speed as well. Stole 9 bases with the Chargers. Again, a junior college up in Galesburg this past year. Here's a slow ground ball to second base. Hankins running hard, but he is not going to beat the throw there from Troy Westerdahl over to Turnquist at first.
Bang, bang play. Hustling out of the box. Couldn't quite.
And Hankins is, again, as a lefty, you know, it's always advantageous for those lefties. Again, you get a little bit of a head start going down the line.
There's no question that the grass here does not appear to be overly thick, you know, so he was moving.
As you mentioned it, you know, conditions here look very nice. You know, grass is a, you know, slight tinge of brown. Hasn't been a ton of rain here in the Peoria area lately. As we look here at
don't jinx us tonight, John. Don't we have no cover for our booth tonight.
No,
so
we do not.
We're broadcasting from the bleachers here.
Indeed, out and amongst the fans, we love it. As Noah Funk, the Crusens shortstop, digs in against the Kohl's pitcher tonight. We haven't introduced you to him. Let's do that now. Tyson Klingen, the pitcher tonight for the Royals. He comes in 0-0, doesn't have a record, 3.5 ERA in 2 innings pitched. There's another ground ball or chopper to the second baseman and a high throw by Westerdahl, but it doesn't matter. And we have 2 4-3 groundouts to lead off for the Reds.
They've got his number. I mean, the rest of the field, you know, let's spread the wealth.
As we'll get a look at Travis Grant.
Another Sunday Morning League veteran here. Travis has been around the league, and he's seen some great sights in his time playing for the Sunday Morning League. A great competitor, hard-nosed, a guy who you respect him as an opponent. You truly have a good sense of and he's throwing at him. He's throwing at him, and we respect Travis and what he's done for the league for many, many years, and he's throwing it right at his ankles. That was an inside pitch that got away.
Yep.
That was not an intention.
No, certainly not. And I don't think there's really any situation in the Sunday Morning League where anyone would ever intentionally hit anyone. I have yet to see that, and I have a very hard time believing that would happen in any instance, regardless of what it is. Is Grant is ahead in the count 3-0. And Grant draws the walk. He'll trot down to first.
I think they're going to give him a hit by pitch. I think that may have grazed his belt. But either way, he's standing at first base with 2 outs and the reigning MVP coming up.
That's Frank Kelch. Again, we'll take a quick look at the Crusens lineup here in the Kohl's defensive alignment. Frank Kelch here, the reigning MVP cleanup batter. He'll follow by Logan Van Hooklen, Ashton Petcher, Jack Barham, Decaden Spencer, Keegan Busby. And you look at the Kohl's Diamond Gallery defensive alignment. And again, Westerdahl and Turnquist have been busy on the right side of the infield here so far. That one hit hard
Great
left
play.
side. Diving play by Delaire. Can he get the out at first?
Tremendous
He got
play.
it. Colin Delaire goes across the diamond to beat out Frank Kelch at first.
From the knee when he had something on that.
What a play from the Pekin alum Colin Delaire, who's now at Eureka College, flashing the glove out at third base. And boy, Tim, we have seen some great defensive plays here in the Sunday Morning League this year. Saw a couple of them last week and saw many of them last year. That one, I think, is probably up maybe
Early front runner.
I was going to say, that one could be top 3 at least. Play of the year already.
The range and snagging the ball is one thing, but on the knee, on target, on time to get a hustling Frank Kelch.
So
great play.
A Reds will strand one. We'll head to the top of the second again. The Kohl's Diamond Gallery Royals up 1-0 after that big solo homer from Toby Turnquist in the top of the first. Due up for the Royals here in the top of the second. It'll be Braylon Smith, Easton Steck, and Dallaire, who just made that great play over at third.
How often do you see it? The guy that makes the great play in the field is going to come up to bat the next inning, and what will we see? Stay tuned, folks. Stay tuned to see what he has more up his sleeve as he's going for the Player of the Game honors.
I'll have to see again. Maybe if I award a unofficial Player of the Game after this one. At least the game we did last week, Tim. It was hard to pick one. Tin Lizard, big win last week, 12-1. They were hits all up and down the lineup, and that was a really unique game. You said earlier in your address to the fans, that history happens every time there's a Sunday morning league game, but there was quite an interesting game that we had again here last week. It was 0-0 through 5 innings. All right, I think through 4 innings actually. Then in the 5th and 6th, Tin Lizard scores 9 in the 5th and 3 in the 6th, and just blows open the game and wins 12-1. That was quite the performance.
I was following along, watching the broadcast, and was in the same way, watching the game scoreless, pitchers duel, and then I tuned back in the 6th inning, and I thought, is there a graphic? Do we have an edit in the graphic? The 9? No, it was an accurate graphic. That was quite a comeback, what an onslaught.
It really was. We'll never know what you're going to get on every given day here in the Sunday morning league.
I like to say you can't script October, even here in the month of June. You just can't script it. And that's the game of baseball. That's not just the Sunday morning league. The game of baseball is a surprise every day. You come out to the ball game, you don't know what you're going to see. You might see history. You might see something unique. You might see something you've never seen before, and that's this beautiful game. And we're thrilled that this beautiful game's been here in Peoria for 109 years. The Sunday morning league, oldest amateur baseball league in the country, celebrating 109 seasons of baseball this summer.
How about it? And we are very honored again to be part of that history. Our second year here with the Sunday Morning League as Braylon Smith looks at his strike. 2-2 the count right now. Smith is 1 for 6 with an RBI so far this year, and he looks at a ball there down in the dirt. Ian Donaldson, the Reds pitcher, has now those 2 strikeouts in the first inning. 11 strikeouts to 1 walk on the year. He has pounded the zone well. And here comes the full count pitch to Smith. Breaking ball on the outside that just missed, and Smith will take a trot on down to first. So maybe talking about his strikeout to walk ratio, but perhaps jinxed him there as he gives up the full count walk to Smith. And
clutch jinx, you did it again. I'm telling you, it better not rain tonight, John.
Yeah, it better not. But Tim, I gotta tell you about something interesting that happens as Easton Steck comes up batting 3 for 11, shortstop for the Royals this year. I was at the Chicago White Sox game back on Saturday. They were playing the Boston Red Sox. Our co-founder of Clutch Sports Media, Joey Wright, had tickets to the game through his radio station that he works down in Champaign. So we got to sit in a suite. It was really nice.
Excellent.
And so in the 5th inning, the Red Sox were batting, and Bobby Dahlbeck comes up to the plate. I look up at the video board. It says he's 6'4", 235. That shows on the video board, and it says he doesn't have a home run this year. I'm like, well, if you're 6'4", 235, I think you're probably due for a home run. And Joey will tell you, I actually did say that to him. And what does Bobby Dahlbeck do? He hits a home run.
I love it. I love it.
Well, that's not all. In the bottom of that same inning, the White Sox load the bases. Gavin Sheets comes up. Joey asked me, he's like, what do you think he does here? I say a ground out to second. I say, you know what, Joey? I know this sounds cliche. I'm thinking grand slam is Steck. Lines one over to left. This one will send Smith over to third. He's hustling. Steck's going to second. A liner double into the gap. And the Royals are in business with 2 more runners in scoring position and nobody out here in the top of the second for the man of the minute right now, Colin Dallaire. But after
the gap, great, solid double there. I mean, they held up the runner, knowing you got a bat come up to the plate. There's a chance for a couple RBIs right here. And he's still feeling it after the play in the field. This is what I called it. We speak about script in October. You can't script it. Well, I'm going to, see if he can't come through.
Dallaire looking for his first hit on the year. 0 for 6 with an RBI so far this season in the Sunday Morning League, but he's going to visit out back to the mound. I said, I think Sheets is going to hit a grand slam here, even though it sounds cliche. What do you know? He hits a grand slam to right field.
Did you buy a lottery ticket that night, John? Did you
No,
go all in? Did you?
I should have, and Joey is funny. Joey said afterwards, he said it's a shame you predicted those things to me and not to FanDuel.
Oh, right, exactly.
But usually as a broadcaster, you're usually subject to the broadcaster's jinx and works against you in many ways. But at least so far,
I guess you weren't on the air, so
I wasn't on the air. That is true. But
you were using your air. You were using.
Yes.
But you were not plugged in. We'll call it.
No, it was not, but that was quite something. So I don't know, maybe today is the day that the broadcast jinx rears its ugly head again. It's been on summer vacation, I guess. As Dallaire faces the 1-1, swing and miss down in the dirt there.
Took a hack. This is a chance to make something happen here. We got no men out, 2 men on. 2 strikes.
Here's a 1-2 from Donaldson. Chopped foul. We'll do the 2-strike pitch again. Welker almost made a nice play over there in the third base coach's box, but
good
just
hands,
went
good
past
hands,
him.
Try, but next time, Clayton, get in front of the ball, weight shift, alligator.
It's funny, I believe last week, as we'll get the 1-2 here to Dallaire. Swing and a miss. Donaldson gets strikeout number 3.
The pick attempt. Tried to catch him sleeping there at second base. He managed to make it back in time, but heads up, pick attempt. So Colin could not pull it off. He couldn't get these runners in.
Could not, but they have another chance here in Troy Westerdahl, another Carl Sandburg player, just finished his redshirt freshman year with the Chargers up in Galesburg. Looks at strike 1. Westerdahl hit .259 with 3 RBIs in 12 games. So we're looking to improve upon that in his next campaign. Got a big opportunity here for some RBIs. That one fouled, just got a piece of it.
Right off the face mask of our umpire tonight. We'll give him a minute.
Tell you, these umpires in the Sunday Morning League have faced some beatings. There's last week, I believe, umpire got hit with the ball twice.
Did he really?
Yeah, he's and that's the part of the job. Everyone says, what's the hardest part about being an umpire is that dealing with tough calls or people being upset, and people forget that you got foul balls sometimes coming right into your face mask. Sometimes
you're a bullseye. I mean, you are, and.
As that one hit right back up the middle, off the bag.
Off the bag.
Westerdahl will get an RBI. Another runner coming home. Westerdahl is going to go to second. How about the alert base running? That'll be a single for Westerdahl. Advances to second on the throw. And he brings in both the runners. He's now got 3 RBIs on the year. Good alert play there from the Royals, and a tough break again for the Reds after that ball bounced off of the bag at second.
It's exactly what Coach Maurerman was saying here. They just can't catch the break, and that one right there, right up the middle, off the bag, and the defense is clamping in to try to make a play on it, and had to abort and change course to find the errant ball.
So runner on second, 1 out, as the number 9 hitter for the Royals digs in. That's Connor Drowns. Like Colin Dallaire, he's also a Pekin alum, so lots of Dragon influence in this one. Drowns was a multi-sport athlete at Pekin, and I think some members of our crew, including myself, remember him. He was part of a very stout defense on the Pekin football team that reached the state quarterfinals couple of years ago. He also played baseball as well, in 4 for 11 so far this season. Three hits already for the Royals, and a big lead there from Westerdahl, and I had to wonder if he was going to maybe try and steal third there.
You got to be alert if you're on the base paths when you're facing the Reds catcher here. He's not afraid to throw behind the runner, that Van Holken.
Logan
There
Van
goes the runner.
there he goes going to third. Van Hooklin's the throw, and a big cloud of dust emerges, and the throw is a bit low. Westerdahl is in there safely, so
He had a jump. He had read the pitcher, and he had a big jump.
now 3-1 here for Drowns. Great situation. You probably got the green light, and Westerdahl with his speed probably going to be running on any contact unless it's a dribbler back to the mound or maybe the third baseman. That one low for ball 4. Donaldson walks his second batter of the night. But silver lining there for the Reds is now you have the double play situation and runners on the corners with 1 out.
Back to the top of the order. The Royals have brought their bats tonight. And can they keep this rally going here? First and third. Outfield is deep.
For Kohl Tanner, who struck out his first time up. Ball put in play, could score a run, especially if it's a fly ball, as Donaldson gets a strike low and in there. Donaldson has gotten lots of strikeouts this year. Again, 12 so far on the season, as that one is popped up. Kelch is chasing it in foul territory, but that'll find the grass before it finds the leather.
Another stolen base attempt there. Connor was off and again had a good jump, and so either they've got a read on Donaldson or his move, but the Royals are running tonight.
The running Royals, we'll call them. Runners on first and third, and maybe we'll see another steal or hit and run attempt here. Donaldson takes a long look there at Drowns, who's donning a light blue sliding glove. He uses it there as he dives back to first.
Sliding glove or oven mitt? I mean, what do you? He's got the cookies are they're at 425. He's got a plate of chocolate chip in the oven. He's gonna
try and grab him out of the oven at second base. That one is fouled back and out of play over near the adjacent turf field here at the East Side Center, which
I have learned that Dave Rogers Field next season will also be turf.
Really?
Yeah,
how about that?
And the East Side Center, we're grateful to the East Side Center. They've been a host of the Sunday Morning League for over 20 years. This has been our home, and we do know that this will be turfed come next season.
Runners going. That one lined into center. It's going to be a tough play for Hankins. He can't grab it. It drops in. Drowns goes to third. Westerdahl comes across to score. And Kohl's Diamond Gallery has got it going on as Kohl Tanner makes it 4-zip Royals on the RBI single.
Just a ball that was hit the right place, and the runners saw the ball. Connor saw where the ball was and knew it was going to drop and did not even hesitate. So we're right back to first and third. We're going to do it again with Mikey Dunn, the Red Devil.
Yep, out of Eureka College. Comes in by way of Lincoln Land Community College. Before that, he went to Limestone, where there's been some, I guess you could say, some good baseball alumni from Limestone High School.
I think I know where you're going with this. Yes, I mean you've got the Dunn family for one, and there's a pickoff. He got it.
I think he got him. He got Tanner going a bit too far off of first. Kelch applied the tag, and Donaldson supplied the throw. That one is really big for the Reds, who needed just any out really at this point.
We try and get a little too aggressive there, and it's been the theme of the inning. But he heads up right back at us.
That one came right at our faces, Tim. That
Did you
one.
bring your net with you? We got.
I was gonna say, I think I'll have to bring my mask next time around.
That's what you get broadcasting in the bleachers. It's bring your own glove.
Yep. Still have yet to catch a foul ball. One would have to come. I don't think that would really be possible. There's a net also above us here as well. That's to.
You're well protected here.
Yeah, that's to prevent no one getting actually hitting the head with a foul ball. Is Dunn bats with 2 outs, 1 and 2.
before that pickoff attempt, you mentioned the history with the Sunday Morning League and Limestone,
Yep.
just the rich tradition and history at Limestone High School. You've got the Dunn family. Mikey is the son of Tommy Dunn and the nephew of Mike Dunn. Mike Dunn, Major League pitcher, pitched for the Pittsburgh Pirates, was the rookie pitcher of the year, pitched in the Olympics. And Mikey is doing his namesake proud. He's representing him well, both at Eureka College and here in the Sunday Morning League. Grounds out to end that inning, but Mikey's a proud supporter, and the lineage of the Dunn family runs deep.
Certainly is, and a big inning there for the Royals. They jump ahead 4-zip. 4 runs on 4 hits so far for the Royals through an inning and a half here at the Eastside Center. And again, I want to take a quick word, thank all of our great sponsors, BodyArmor, the official sports drink of the Peoria Sunday Morning League and the Peoria Sunday Morning League Game of the Week on Clutch Sports Media. For superior hydration before, during, and after the game, it's BodyArmor. And also by Kohl's Diamond Gallery up in Galesburg, Illinois. I want to thank them for their support of the Kohl's Diamond Gallery Royals for the last couple of years. And also by the Crusens Reds. I thank the Crusens as well for their support of the PSML. Another somewhat relatively new sponsor, but Crusens a great spot for wings, pizza, food, drinks, watch the game, you name it.
So,
3 locations in Peoria.
So with this weekend being Father's Day, we want to salute all the fathers listening and watching. And if you're thinking to yourself, how can I, celebrate my dad? Well, how about this? You take him out to Crusens, you take him out for a nice meal, a nice drink, a nice dinner. But before you go, you head up to Galesburg to Kohl's Diamond Gallery. You buy him a nice watch.
Yeah,
Kohl's
there
is
you
the
go.
place where you can get some fine, jewelry for both men and women. So if you want to get something for your wife or your girlfriend, a ring, a necklace, or earrings, you certainly could. But let's not forget Dad. Maybe find a nice watch there at Kohl's. Kohl's has been a supporter of the league for many, many years. In fact, Ryan Kohl and his father run the jewelry store. And Ryan played in the league for many, many years, and hence the namesake of the Kohl's Diamond Gallery Royals. So happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there listening and watching and playing in the league. We've got fathers on the field every night in this league, and it's special to see the tradition, and as we're talking about the Dunn family and how families have really come through this league over the years, and we see it time and time again. The rich history. When you've been around for 109 years, you're going to have lots of those stories.
Yeah, you certainly are, and it helps to have one of the league's best historians, and Tim Cundiff, sharing the booth with me. Jonathan Michael in here with you on a great Tuesday night here from East Peoria. Logan Van Hooklen digging in now for the Crusens Reds. He's their catcher tonight. Back to the Dunn family, Tim. I got an interesting story. So obviously, a lot of people around Peoria know him for Mike Dunn, Mikey Dunn, and all the other Dunns as well. Also, but a couple of years ago, I was an intern for the Milwaukee Milkmen, independent minor league team outside of Milwaukee, where I lived for 4 or 5 years while I was in high school and college. And one of the players on the Milkman was Logan Dunn, who was, I believe, Mike Dunn's son, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I have to double-check that. But, he played for the Milwaukee Milkmen. I got to talk with him a lot. He was born right here in Peoria, and I told him I was from the area. We became pretty good pals, actually. So
and then there's Ryan Dunn, of course. Ryan, also son of Mike Dunn.
Ryan is who I was thinking of.
Okay,
it was Ryan Dunn, not Logan, yeah.
And Ryan pitched in the minor leagues for several years.
Yep.
Great arm, great cannon, and he's played in the Sunday Morning League for a short time.
Sure.
But yeah, the Dunn family, the genes and the roots run deep there.
My apologies to Ryan Dunn, who I mistakenly called Logan. It's been a couple years, but I should have remembered that one. But Logan Van Hooklen, meanwhile, draws the
That's
walk.
What you're thinking of is Logan.
Yes. As here's Ashton Petcher for the Reds. He's currently at Illinois Valley Community College. Hit for a pretty solid average his freshman year there, just this past season. Hit .313 with 3 home runs and 21 RBIs. That one from Klingen is outside. Klingen this year. This is going to be probably one of the first times we're going to see a lot of him, barring something unforeseen. That one gets past Smith, and Van Hooklen moves on over to second. Clayton came into tonight again with just 2 innings pitched. He's already got 1+ so far tonight. 2 strikeouts and 2 walks on the season. Now that's 3 walks after that one to Van Hooklen. That one is fouled off. Fetcher, it's the only IVCC player on the Reds that at least is
LaSalle, Peru, right?
I believe so, up around that area.
LaSalle, Peru.
LaSalle, Peru, Ottawa area. He's a alum of Spring Valley Hall. You mentioned
many years ago, IVCC had a team in our league. They actually
really?
had a team comprised of kids from that area. We actually would play some of our games up in that area.
How about that?
See,
that one popped up by Jack Barham into short center. This one could be trouble. It drops in for a hit.
Bermuda Triangle.
Van Hooklen moves on over to third, and you mentioned it, Tim. That was just kind of in no man's land, and neither Westerdahl nor Tanner could get there soon enough, and Jack Barham is on with his first hit of the 2024 season for the Reds.
And let's say this, Coach Maurerman said this before the game. He said we have not had the clutch hit. We are 0-3. We could be 3-0. We need a clutch hit. Well, right here, this is where you need it. This is where you do need that clutch hit. If they can make something happen right here and take a dent in this lead, first and third, 1 out, now's your chance.
And it's Caden Spencer who took as what the kids would call a daddy hack there. Third baseman is 2 for 3 on the year.
On Clutch Sports Media. He's trying to be clutch on air, broadcast live. He's taking a hack.
That one chopped up to the shortstop. They get 1. Do they get 2? No, he airmails it. The 1 run will count. Spencer will stay at first. So they get the out at second, and that was Barham, but Van Hooklen comes across to score. So not the best situation there for the Reds, but also not the worst as well.
They're on the board, and I think that's what is important at this point. Mentally, psychologically, we've got to run here, and so now let's see if they can extend with 2 outs.
Well, we've seen our fair share of Pekin alumni in this game. How about another one? Keegan Busby. Now for the Reds, he's wearing more red and white as he did in his high school career. Big swing and a miss there. And yeah, you mentioned it, Tim. That's big there for the Reds just to get that run, get on the board. You don't have to get them all back at once, and there's still plenty of baseball left to be played. And
another good jump, another really good jump out there.
Yeah, Spencer was
off.
He was off to the races, but that one was spoiled off of the foul tip.
We play 7 innings in this game for a reason. They chip away now, as you saw last week on your game of the week. Anything can happen.
Runner's going again. Busby swings and misses. Runner won't matter, though. Busby strikes out. That's the second strikeout of the inning and of the evening for Tyson Klingen, who allows 1 run to the Reds, but limits the damage there. We're on to the top of the third. Sunday Morning League Game of the Week here on ClutchSportsIL.com and the Clutch Sports Media YouTube channel as well. Want to give a quick shout-out to our other broadcast will also be happening this week for those of you tuning in. And we'll also have Peoria City Soccer coming to you tomorrow against Chivas de Guadalajara's U23 team. That's the second game of the Copa Peoria series. Chivas de Guadalajara is one of the top, if not the top team in all of Mexico, and their 23 and under team coming in to play the Peoria City USL League 2 team. That is going to be a barn burner. And then on Saturday evening, it'll be Peoria City again against Riverlight FC, brand new team in the USL League 2 out of Aurora. That is going to be a tightly drawn matchup there, and it's going to be a good night for some soccer as well. So if you can't make it out to the game, tune in. ClutchSportsIL.com, your home for Sunday Morning League Baseball and Peoria City Soccer all summer long. As Donaldson comes back out for his third inning of work. as Toby Turnquist comes in. He led off the inning, or not led off the inning, but he had that solo home run back in the first for the Kohl's Diamond Gallery Royals. Big shot to right field that went about 340, 350 feet or so. So it'll be Turnquist, Welker, and Smith, the 3, 4, 5 hitters for the Kohl's Diamond Gallery Royals. See what Turnquist has this time around. Breaking ball drops in for.
Will he see
Believe
it
that
hit is the question after he hit the first one, 340. Will they pitch around him? Looks like they are. Staying away. Ian is staying away from him.
That pitch makes it 1-1. Again, you got more dangerous hitters. You got Welker on deck. Again, one of the approaching 150 hits in his career, so he's knows how to put the bat to the ball. And then you got Braylon Smith behind him as well, number 5 hitter and the catcher. Donaldson looks down and fires the 1-2. That one high. Would love to start out the inning with a strikeout, as he would, if he can get Turnquist here. Sure, he'd love to have that pitch back from the first inning where Turnquist launched it over the fence. That one tries to get him chasing on a breaking ball and does not. Makes it 3-2. Donaldson fires, and that one's popped up left side. Oh, just over the left guardrail there. That was Spencer giving chase over there at third. Thought for a second, I think me and you both thought, Tim, that could be a diving play over at.
I've seen it happen more times than you realize here. These the low clearance on those sideline fences.
Here's the full count pitch. That one, ball 4 to Toby Turnquist. So
nibbled, but at the end stayed away from him.
I tried to get him just to chase there, but good discipline there from Toby Turnquist. Again, the senior to be for the Monmouth College Fighting Scots. Played the Division III level.
I thought I heard bagpipes when he hit that home run. Now I know why. I was hearing the fight song from the Scots.
As here's Clayton Welker, grounder over to short. This could be 2. They get 1 at second. Do they get at first? They got him. Beautiful 6-4-3 double play. That's Funk to Petcher to Kelch in the field for the Reds, and they
made it look easy. It was slick, smooth, and one hopper.
That's just how you practice it. There is. That'll get 2 down quickly for Braylon Smith.
This is what the Reds needed. The Reds needed to have a quick inning and get right back in the dugout and see if they can't build off of the run they got last inning. And so can they make it a quick inning?
Lines it to left. Smith has other ideas.
Not as quick as they were hoping.
And that's Smith. It's his second hit in 7 at-bats this season. Smith is a product of Morton High School. And it'll bring up Easton Steck, who doubled his last time up. Had that liner over to left center field that just kind of
kept on going. I mean,
he's kind of found the other. You mentioned that one Bermuda Triangle. There's kind of another one out there, right halfway between the left and center fielders, and that's right where Steck put it last time up.
This is a funny game, you know. You can hit a laser beam right at a player, or you can find a seeing eye. If you can find those holes, you can have a successful career.
And Smith dives back in. And Royals have been pretty aggressive on the base pass tonight. Van Hookland hasn't thrown anyone out stealing yet, but Donaldson caught Cole Tanner sleeping off a first back in the last inning. Fires a pitch low and away there.
He's not afraid to throw behind a runner either, so you have to watch, you know, if he and Kelch are on the same page here, watch for Logan to try to end this inning right now.
Here's the 1-1. Runner's not going. That one is popped straight up. That one, is it going to be Donaldson's? It will be. He makes the catch himself. And a pop out to the pitcher. Don't see that too terribly often, but you did there. And the Reds get out of the top of the third unscathed. It's still Royals 4, Reds 1 as we move into the bottom of the third here at Dave Rogers Field here in East Peoria at the East Side Center. Lots of activity here tonight. Some practices. Saw some softball players here as well. Some softball games going on. Looks like a travel team. There's a youth baseball game going on next to us, and boy, they've been jamming out. They've had some "Life Is a Highways" going on the speakers right now, but boy, they've been on it with the walk-up songs over there tonight.
They don't miss a beat with these walk-up songs in these little league travel leagues, and I don't blame them. But what would your walk-up song be, John? If
That's
you were, walking into the broadcast booth tonight, covering tonight's game on Clutch Sports.
Oh, man.
Play-by-play man.
What's
your walk-up
that
song?
is a great question. And it's funny you asked that to me because that's one of the questions that we always ask our winners of the Clutch Sports Media Spring Athletes of the Week. Is we ask them what each of their walk-up songs is. I haven't thought about what mine would be.
We'll have until the seventh inning.
We'll have until the seventh inning. I will periodically check through my Spotify playlist and let you know. We'll have to. There are lots of options, and there as well. I think I'd be one of those players that would have like 2 or 3, and then the person having to play the songs would roll their eyes at me. I'm sure.
It's hard. I mean, there's too many good options, too many choices for a lifelong, born and raised John Mellencamp fan. John's my hero, and walking up to Reign of the Scarecrow for several years.
There you go.
From the Scarecrow album.
Our camera operator, Josh Messenger, says I should just pick something totally random. Oh, boy. We'll have to see about that. I don't know. Josh may be on something, though. Maybe sometimes random is the best. You just got to go with whatever.
And there are guys that it's not unheard of for them to change songs mid-season, change songs even mid-game. You see,
yep.
They know what fires them up, what drives them, and is it for them or is it for the fans or a combination of both, And
some of it's superstition, too. If you're in a batting funk and hitting well, maybe change the walk-up song, and maybe things will change the tide for you. Sometimes that does work. Speaking about funk, Noah Funk is on deck right now. This is Peyton Hankins, who grounded out to second base back in the top of the first.
Noah Funk's not in a batting funk, that's for sure. He always comes ready to play, and he can hit the ball, and he's the one who started that double play in the last half of the inning. So can the Reds capitalize after a short, relatively quick? Wasn't 1, 2, 3, but it was a quick inning to get right back in the dugout, get those helmets and bats back out, and can they capitalize? Can they, as Coach Maurma wants, can he get some clutch hits? We'll see if they can do it this inning.
I would call that that top of the third. I would call that the gentleman's 1, 2, 3 inning. You know how they say the gentleman's sweep is you beat a team 4-1 and in a best of 7 series. You let them win one game at least. You don't completely sweep them, but. You could say the same thing, gentlemen's 1, 2, 3, you get,
we'll go with it.
2 outs, you let one runner get on, but then you get the last guy out as.
Trademark it, you could be onto something.
I could, we'll have to see as Hankins strikes out there. There's his third for Tyson Klingen. Now here's Funk, he looks at a big dropping curve for strike 1. Noah Funk, a alum of Lincoln High School, now at ICC, just down the road from here. That one's fouled off.
Starting to see the flag a little bit more. I think maybe the rain, which is not in the area, but the wind possibly picking up a little bit, Can Noah take advantage? Well,
that one's a fair ball. Is going to be a play at first. Turnquist makes the flip over, and Funk.
Tricky play with the ball coming right towards the bag. Is it going to hit the bag? Is it going to, he didn't break course, and he stuck right with it.
So Funk grounds out for the second time today. Here's Travis Grant, who was hit by the pitch his first time up, and Grant very noticeable because of that trademark beard of his. I remember that from last year.
You fear the beard is what they say.
And you might have to fear it here. That one's hit well to right, but right of Mikey Dunn over there in right field. Very efficient inning there from Tyson Klingen on the mound. Only a couple of pitches needed. And the Reds go down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the third.
If you're watching at home and you're saying this beard that you're talking about, we're fearing this beard of Travis Grant. We'll call it his iconic. It's what he's known for. Well, check out the Sunday Morning League. If you don't follow us right now, you should all follow us on our socials. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on X. We'll call it.
Yep.
We're on Instagram.
I still call it Twitter, by the way.
Every day I call it Twitter. But our Sunday Morning League photographer has just released some great images here the last couple of days, some early season shots from around the league, and you're going to see a close-up shot of Travis Grant, and he's spitting a loogie. I mean, we're talking, this is action photography at its finest. Loogie mid-air, the beard is glowing in the breeze. And it's a phenomenal shot. So if you folks are trying to visualize what John's talking about, check our socials.
And you might want to fear the beard, especially because last year Travis Grant hit .345 with 13 RBIs. He was an all-star outfielder for the Reds, along with Frank Kelch, again, the reigning MVP, back at first base again tonight and the season for the Reds. Jordan Ball, another all-star for Crusens, who played outfield. Andrew Ponce as well, the pitcher of the year, and obviously an all-star for the Reds. Not on the bump tonight, but he is with the team again. He's put up some really good numbers this year, so those are some players to watch.
Solid players on both rosters. I mean, you're witnessing good baseball every night in this league. A 4-1 game could be a 4-4 game with a couple of swings and a couple of balls that bounce the right direction.
It certainly could, as the top of the fourth gets underway. It's Colin Dallaire who will lead things off at 7-8-9 for the Royals. Dallaire struck out his first time up, but did make that great play over there at third base.
Play of the game, I'm telling you right here. It's going to be hard to top.
That is going to be probably one of the top defensive plays, at least that you're going to see on the CSM Sunday Morning League Game of the Week on the broadcast. Again, all of our broadcasts you can watch them as soon as they're done, anytime on demand on YouTube as well. So players want to get those clips. They're always going to be there for you. Just record what you want and put it together. A lot of these guys,
it's high quality, top notch. Your commentary, your research, the time and effort that you folks put in is really special, and we're thrilled to have Clutch as partnering with the Sunday Morning League once again, and with the videography. You've got some wonderful staff, wonderful crew here with you tonight. We've got a Packer fan manning the graphics here. We like to see that.
And the Royals like to see Colin Dallaire lining that one to center. He is on with a single, and I want to shout out our broadcast crew, Patrick Huber, our producer, Josh Messenger behind the camera tonight. I'm Jonathan Michael here of CSM, alongside Tim Cundiff, our very special guest here in the booth. Tim is the longtime president of the Sunday Morning League, just recently handed off the reins to Zach Schulte. I'm sure that transition has been pretty seamless, I bet.
Zach has absolutely been a tremendous advocate for this league. What he has done for his team, for our league, for our media presence, for our web development, he's done a tremendous job. I was honored to fill the shoes of the presidency of this league. This league's been around for 109 years, and not for a second did I ever think it was us, what we were doing. It was carrying the tradition and passing that baton and the role. I took it with the utmost pride and the utmost honor to do it. And I'll say this as well. My brother, I grew up watching the Sunday morning league games, not in the dugout, but down the foul line, probably laying on a blanket. My older brother played in the Sunday morning league back in the 90s. Ed Cundiff played baseball at Bradley University.
Wow.
And played in the league for many, many years for Powers Insurance, Illinois Furniture, and then Ed assumed the position of president of the Sunday Morning League for a year, just a year, because then he ended up moving to Bowling Green, Kentucky.
There you go.
So he was league president for a year. He moves to Bowling Green, Kentucky, and he founded his own league in Bowling Green. He was the George Washington. He wanted to continue playing this game, and they didn't have such a league down there. And so he founded a league down in Kentucky, and so he was my inspiration to come out here as a fan first, as a player second, and as a president. And I still play. I still play on the Miller Lite Falcon Ball Club. But the role of president was a true honor, and I'm so thankful to all of those who've paved the way for me. We've got many veterans who are on our Veterans Committee. Tonight we've got Gary Sullivan here in the audience, in the crowd. I saw him earlier, talked to Gary, and Gary's in our Hall of Honor. And and there's so many men who've built this league what it is, and we are thrilled to be able to carry the tradition. It's a special league, it's a special place, and watching the young kids right out of high school, right out of college, and just watching them get excited about playing and competing. And what you guys have brought with Clutch Sports has just added a new element to continue to get this message out there. And this is not just a local league here. This is international. Folks are watching these games here through the airwaves for what you're doing. So I wish Zach the absolute best of luck and best of success. He's going to do a tremendous job as our president. And I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying on as a senior advisor, and I'm still lacing it up for Miller Lite.
Sure thing. As Drowns drops out a bunt, going to be a close play at first, but they get him. Donaldson over to Kelch. Colin Delaire moves over to second base. But you mentioned it. To this, it's such a unique league. Not every place in America, not every area locale has a amateur baseball league like this, where it's just I always. People ask me, what is the Sunday morning league? I say it's just a big melting pot of Central Illinois baseball. You got your guys coming, some guys that just graduated high school, not even a full month ago. You have guys that are, back playing from college. You got JUCO guys. You got some Division I guys, Division III guys, Division II guys. You have some guys that have played, a handful of guys that have played in the minor league systems before. And we've even had, again, some players that have going on to play in the majors as well. And then you get players that are, you mentioned earlier again, fathers and sons. There's a couple of guys that still lace them up for Sunday morning league and do a pretty good job at that.
There's two core groups that truly have defined the league, and when the league was founded back in 1916, it took on essentially a twofold mission, and that was to provide the opportunity for these young kids right out of high school trying to get a college scholarship or trying to get drafted, provide them that avenue to play and compete at a high level. But it's also for the veterans. It's for those guys who used to play college ball, who some of them used to play pro ball, and they still have a passion. They might not still be playing. Maybe they didn't quite make it into the big leagues. They're not playing at Busch Stadium or Wrigley Field, but they're playing at Dave Rogers Field and Dozer Park right here, and can continue to play and compete at a high level against the top college players in the area. The talent level of the league is college level, collegiate level talent, but it's a mix of ages and it's a mix of backgrounds and the type of interactions that you can see with an 18-year-old talking to a 42-year-old in a dugout that happen every game, every day. These kids are learning, and they're learning from some of the best. Some of the very best. Before tonight's game, I had a chance to talk with Kohl's Diamond Gallery pitcher Josh Caruso, and you talk about some of these players who've made it and who've played professionally. Josh Caruso was a pitcher at Bradley University, but he also pitched professionally over in Italy.
Wow.
Loved the game so much, moves his family overseas. They play the game in Italy. Has come back to America and did not want to give it up, and he has now played in a phenomenal career here in the league, still playing and still competing, and just in his game the other day, he reached the milestone of 900 strikeouts. So we do want to salute Josh Caruso, one of our league veterans, on a historic milestone of 900 Ks, one of the greatest that's ever towed the rubber in the Sunday morning league. So
certainly, and Ian Donaldson is trying to get to that point, eventually he strikes out Kohl Tanner, looking to end the top of the 4th inning here from Dave Rogers Field. Real quick one again, I want to thank all of our great sponsors that help make tonight's broadcast possible, starting with BodyArmor, the official sports drink of the Peoria Sunday Morning League. I'll tell you, I've been sipping on Fruit Punch BodyArmor right in front of me, and this is the real deal. Superior hydration before, during, and after the game. BodyArmor should be your choice. And also by Kohl's Diamond Gallery up in Galesburg, as well as Crusens here in Peoria. Again, I also want to, reminder that today is Keith Kelly Day. And you'll get a look at what Keith Kelly did. Peoria High grad, again, broke the Sunday Morning League color barrier back in 1950. And just like another player that broke the color barrier, Jackie Robinson, played professionally in the Brooklyn Dodgers organization. So, again, want to thank Sunday Morning League for honoring him, and really deservedly so. Second annual Keith Kelly Day here, June 11th, now in Illinois as it's been officially proclaimed.
Broke ground here locally and truly an inspiration for many, many here in our community, and we're honored to celebrate Keith Kelly Day, not just today, but every June 11th, and ultimately this day is it's a special day. We're here to play a fun ball game, but we have to understand that baseball is a part of history, part of American history. It's Americana. We talk about the Sunday Morning League, 109-year-old baseball league. Well, 74 years ago, truly changing the shape of our community when an African-American played in this league for the first time.
Certainly is.
Here's to you, Keith Kelly. Thank you so much.
Thank you indeed, as be Frank Kelch, Frank the Tank, they call him, from Carl Sandburg, and went to Brimfield High School. Grounded out to third his first time up. It's been a little bit of a slower start to the season for the reigning MVP. Now 1 for 10 on the year, 3 strikeouts and 3 walks. But if you want to know what he did last year, though, he hit 309. And again, this was at Carl Sandburg, hit 309 with a 900 OPS, 6 homers, 34 RBIs, and led the team with 13 doubles. Swing and a miss there. And Tyson Klingent has been locked in tonight. That's his 4th K of the game. I'll now bring up Logan Van Hooklen, who walked his first time up. And, again, like so many other players, went to Carl Sandburg. Hit 289 there last year.
The Reds and Royals, when these two teams, we'll call them a couple of the Blue Bloods in the Sunday Morning League, they've both been sponsors in the league for several years. And to see Kohls and Crusens compete here at Dave Rogers Field is always a fun night. You never know what's going to happen. And right there, Tyson tries to get a little too far inside, just a bit inside.
And Van Hooklen will reach for the second time tonight. Walked his first time. That time he gets hit by the pitch. He's going to get pinch run 4. Looks like that might be Jackson Hicks, number 1 over there, and it is. Hicks is a Drake Bulldog. MVC arrivals of the Bradley Braves right here in town. And speaking of Bradley, a current Bradley player, Travis Lutz, part of the Kohl's Diamond Gallery Royals, and has been for a couple of years. So
Travis is doing great things for Bradley, and he's done great things in the Sunday Morning League for the Royals himself. You've got a lot of Missouri Valley talent in this league. You mentioned the Drake Bulldogs. When you go to a Drake baseball game, do they have the Bulldogs sitting there in the bleachers? Do they bring them out to basketball games? We know
I'm not quite sure.
Do they bring the Bulldog? Does anybody know?
I'll have to check and see. I mean, you look at the spring. You figure that baseball is probably one of the main sports in the spring. So I'm sure he's probably been there. At least to one game. I know he's there at every one of the basketball games.
I know Kaboom's out at the Bradley games.
Let's see if we can get Kaboom over here to the Sunday Morning League.
Now, that'd be a great one.
That one fouled off.
Long run for the right fielder.
Yeah, Dunn is a pretty fast guy out there and right, but not quite that fast. As Ashton Petcher will do it again. 2-2 here, 1 out. Royals have led all the way through this one. Turnquist, again, if you're just tuning in, Toby Turnquist got things started in the top of the first with a big home run to right. Then later on, a 2-run single from Troy Westerdahl and an RBI single from Kohl Tanner gave the Royals their second, third, and fourth runs. Crusens got on the board back in the second on a fielder's choice from Caden Spencer. Hicks is running. That one grounded right up the middle. This is going to be a tough play. Shortstop fires it over. He's going to be safe.
Everybody's safe. He hit it right into the second base bag, right where they were converging for the base stealer, and couldn't have thrown that ball, couldn't have rolled that ball out there at a better location.
There's been some very well-placed hits tonight. It's not always about how hard you hit the ball. It's not always about, exit velocity, launch angle, all the fancy metrics nowadays. There's still something to be said for those, and those are very important nowadays, especially in today's game of baseball. But, there's also something to be said for just hitting it where they ain't, as I believe it was Wee Willie Keeler that said that.
How about
think.
That? A Wee Willie Keeler name drop. I did not have that on my bingo card, on my clutch game of the week bingo card. I got another pickoff here. Do we have?
We're gonna have a pickle is what we're gonna have. And Klingon fires over to third. They got the runner. Hicks at third. Pitcher moves on over to second. How about the hustle from Tyson Klingon? You don't see that too often from the pitcher, where he just chases him down himself. But Klingon put on the wheels there to get the pinch runner Jackson Hicks. So
a very heady play there. I mean, he had the delayed stance there on the mound, and
out curveball is
straight back,
popped up back behind the press box here. So it's Jack Barham up to a bat right now. He's now 1 for 3 on the year. Came into today over 2, but singled back in the second inning. Another single here could bring in the Reds' second run of the game. Could be a clutch hit here. That one.
Need another clutch hit, that's for sure.
That was just some junk from Klingon trying to get him to swing there, and he did not. Barham also pitches for the Reds, too. He's thrown 4 frames this year and watches that one inside. And Caden Spencer on deck. Keegan Busby in the hole for the Reds. 2's wild. Runner on second base as well to add to it. Barham lifts this one to second base. It should be catchable. It is for Troy Westerdahl. That will do it in the bottom of the fourth. The Reds put 2 runners on, but one of them gets caught on the base pass, and the other one gets stranded. We're on to the fifth here. It's Kohl's Diamond Gallery 4 and Crusens 1. Still here at Dave Rogers Field in East Peoria. Again, another real quick word for all of our sponsors tonight. BodyArmor, the official sports drink of the Peoria Sunday Morning League. Kohl's Diamond Gallery up in Galesburg as well. Like Tim said earlier, head on up there for some nice watches, jewelry, rings, you name it. Kohl's Diamond Gallery has got you covered. Make the drive up I-74 or down to I-74, depending on where you live today. Also, by Crusens, 3 area locations. Great food, drinks, wings, pizza, you name it. Locations on Farmington Road, War Memorial Drive, and Route 29 in Peoria, and Creve Court, respectively. And I thank Crusens for their support of the Peoria Sunday Morning League.
John, how's your walk-up song?
Oh, boy.
As you're thinking about it, I don't want you to forget. This is just a simple reminder.
Yep. No.
I've given the folks what they want. They wanted to hear what my song, what they said. Tim, what Mellencamp song are you going to choose? So I've given mine. I'm stalling here. I'm letting you, kind of think about your answers. I know the folks at home are sitting there wondering and listening, and no pressure by any means. I just don't want you to forget,
Oh boy, I'm looking at my Spotify liked songs right now. I have 790 of them, and there's a lot of them that I could pick. I think there's one. I was listening to this in the car the other day. It's I think the one I would really like would be called "Tennis Court Flume Remix" by Lord and Flume. That's a little bit of a newer song than John Mellencamp, but it's
tennis court. Who I've got to ask you. Repeat that for the folks who.
Tennis Court Flume Remix. It's a very kind of a cool song. It got one of those kind of electronic songs. Doesn't have a ton of lyrics to it, but it's you hear it kind of make you bob your head a little bit. You're like, okay, this is kind of nice.
That's what a walk-up song's all about. It's
Yep.
what the batter needs to get your blood flowing, to pump you up, and
Sure.
And I do know we play our league plays at Dozer Park, downtown Peoria, the beautiful home of the Peoria Chiefs. And all of our players do submit their walk-up song. When we play downtown at Dozer, you will be hearing their walk-up songs, both for our in-season Dozer series and for the championship series. So the players all have their chance to let their personality make it to the speakers. But I'm going to have to check out this tennis court room here. You've definitely piqued all of our interest. I'm speaking for the audience.
I'll have to check out your song by some John Mellencamp. I know the song Jack and Diane. I know that song. That's on my golfing playlist.
Oh, there you go.
So,
there you go. It's a little ditty.
Yep.
But that's a great song. But for walk up, well, it's the initial first few licks to the song "Reign of the Scarecrow."
As get the top of the fifth started, and Mikey Dunn pops out to the shortstop Noah Funk to lead things off. Both pitchers have really settled in here the last few innings. No one scored since the second. As now Donaldson has retired his last four, but he has not retired this man so far tonight, Toby Turnquist, who is a Monmouth United alum, as a Red Storm. Turnquist came into today with going 4 for 12 with a double and 3 RBIs, 5 strikeouts and 4 walks. That one popped up and over onto the adjacent field, of which the youth game and our tunes have gone. Tim, I got to ask you. I was talking with Brock Alkire, who also called the game with us last week. Early on, I know you're member of the Miller Lite Falcons as well, but also past league president. As impartially as possible, what are some of your early season takeaways? What have you seen? Any noticed? Any trends you've noticed at all? Just overall, what have maybe been some of the bigger storylines and bigger things that you've noticed in your mind so far this season?
What the Sunday Morning League always manages to do is it will always surprise you. Just when you think you might think you got a good squad and a good ball club, you get a couple injuries early. You lose a few games early, and it could change your whole trajectory for your season. And at the same point, you have a slow start. If you're a Crusens Reds fan watching, you're 0-3. You're down here 4-1, and you're thinking we could be 0-4 to start this season. There's no reason to hang it up and to fret. What this league has shown is you can turn it on mid-season. You can turn it on in the playoffs, and that's what the Kohl's squad has done the last couple of years. They've put on a good mid-season push, and so what I would say about this league is every team that I've seen, the rosters that I've seen, the scores, the results, every team has elevated. They've all improved their rosters with another phenomenal draft, bringing some new talent into the league. But what these managers have done in the offseason really to improve their clubhouse has been really special. And you're seeing some teams that last year might have been towards the bottom of their rankings. You got the Move Smart Mariners, who are sitting at 3-1 right now.
Yep.
You got Brienzo's, who's 2-2. Those were two of our teams that were definitely struggled more last year, and they really made a point to improve their rosters. And you got the Crusens Reds, who were in the finals last year, who are in last place at 0-3, and you've got the Firehouse Pizza Expos, who was last season's outright regular season number 1 seed, manager of the year Kent Dietz, and they're starting out to a slow start, 1-5. So don't let things like that, the records, throw them out the window. It's June, and we're playing June baseball. We go through mid-August, and a lot of time you don't want to put your foot off the gas, but this league has shown, and there's no question, the quality, the caliber, the collegiate level talent has been really special to watch, and to watch the development of some of these younger teams.
Certainly, as Clayton Welker skies one out to center, Hankins comes on and closes the glove on it for out number 2. Toby Turnquist, by the way, drew another walk, his second of the game, so as actually we have a new pitcher for the Reds. That's Nathan Stahl. He's out there, number 9 in red. So Donaldson's day ended after 4 innings. As Stahl, we haven't seen much of him yet this season, but so far, mostly so good, aside from that walk to Turnquist. As Braylon Smith comes up, and Tim, you mentioned, yeah, I kind of felt the same way. Maybe this year could sort of be the changing of the guard, so to say. Brienzo's and Move Smart, maybe they move into contenders, but I think what it really comes down to is, I mean, obviously the regular season's certainly important, but it really just comes down to really how you perform in those playoff games. Can you play your best baseball at the right time? If you are, you're gonna go deep. If not, you're probably gonna get upset early on. Even if you're a number 1 or 2 team in the league. So
can you compete and play under pressure when you're under the bright lights? Can you compete when it counts? And do you have enough pitching to get you through those turnaround games in the playoffs when you have games 2, 3, maybe 4 days in a row? Do you have enough pitching to get you through? That's going to really make or break some of these teams, And so I think that's part of where you're building your roster with that in mind. You're building your roster on who are my starters, who's my relief squad, and how can I, utilize my pitchers appropriately throughout the summer. And some pitchers are on pitch counts because of their college coach. They're on limits on what they can do and cannot do during the summer, and so you take all that into account. This is a lot of work these managers put in to assemble their roster with that in mind. We say defense and pitching wins championships, and that is no different here in Peoria, or East Peoria this evening.
Yes.
Dave Rogers Field.
I give a correction. It is not Nathan Solomon. It's number 3. I looked at the number. Appeared to be a 9. It's number 3. So it's Roy Ralston on the mound right now for the Reds, and he is fighting back against Smith. The 3-0 now has turned into a 3-2 count. Ralston has finished up his freshman year again at Monmouth College. So a couple of Monmouth people for the Reds. Him, Trent Jordan, Brandon Coates as well. Runner is off. That one pops straight up. They should do it for the top of the 5th. And the shortstop, Noah Funk, brings it in, and Smith is now 1 for 2 on the night. We'll head on into the bottom of the 5th. Crusens looking to add to their hit total. They've just got 1 so far, I should say 2 so far tonight. Singles from Petcher and Barham, but
2 hits and 1 run, and that scoreboard has been quiet for a couple of innings. And we thought it'd be a high-scoring affair. These are 2 of the better hitting teams in our league. Their pitching is, like I say, it's always in question, but they've got the bats. Can they show it tonight? Can the Reds bring out some clutch bats? Looks like Coach Maurerman is giving his squad a little bit of a pep talk right now and trying to light a fire here. He's looking at it thinking, hey, guys, we've been to the Dozer Park. We've been to the championship series 2 years in a row. We're 0-3 looking on the doorstep of 0-4. Can we turn it around? Could that be a motivational speech that we'll be talking about for some time if we can come out and see a 9-run inning this year? This game here? Could that
It was certainly unexpected last week. We'll see if they can repeat it again this week. I don't see too many 9-run innings out there. It'll be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters due up for the Reds.
I want to put a quick plug in. I've mentioned Dozer Park a couple of times.
Sure.
The Sunday Morning League plays at Dozer a couple of times throughout the season, but this Thursday night, the Peoria Chiefs are home, and so they're playing, and that's Sunday Morning League night at the ballpark. And so all members in the league, all players in the league have a free ticket. You talk to your manager and let them know, and we'll put you on that pass list. All players in the league have a chance to go to the game. If fans want to go, those tickets are for sale for $10. Talk to a league manager to come on out and support Sunday Morning League night at Dozer Park. Watch the Peoria Chiefs, watch the single-A affiliate of the St. Louis Cardinals play, and recognized before that game is your Kohl's Royal, Josh Caruso, who I mentioned earlier, who just achieved his 900th strikeout. Josh Caruso will be down at the field to throw out the ceremonial first pitch before the Chiefs game on Thursday. So come on out. Don't want to miss it. It's Thirsty Thursday at Dozer Park. Come out to the ballpark, support the Peoria Chiefs, and support the Peoria Sunday Morning League.
I think a fun little game to play with your friends maybe is how you see a lot of honorary first pitches, and most of them people just kind of just lob it in. A lot of times it bounces in front of the plate. Sometimes it doesn't even get there. Josh Caruso though is probably going to have one of the faster, most accurate first pitches you'll probably ever see. I wonder if he's going to try and maybe sling it in there.
I think he'll be starting to stretch and get his long toss in the afternoon. I think he's going to be. Absolutely, he's a competitor, and so as funny of a comment that is, I think that's spot on. Josh is going to be a competitor, and he's not going to want to lollygag a lob in there. He will stand at the rubber. Some guys stand in front.
Yep.
They stand on the grass and kind of do the little toss in. Josh will be on the rubber. Mark my words. There will be a leg kick. We know there will be a leg kick when you know Josh. You see him pitch. Yeah, so we're going to see, fastball. Will he show his vicious slider? Well, we'll see what happens. Come out Thursday.
Yeah, you got to see.
Out.
Yeah, you
come
gotta,
early. Come early. The game time is usually at 6:30 or something like that. So come out early. Make sure you get a good seat to watch that first pitch. You don't want to miss it.
Come for Josh Caruso. Stay for the Peoria Chiefs. As Caden Spencer looks at a ball low and inside. 2-2. Spencer on the year is 2 for 4. Last year at Carl Sandburg hit 280 with 4 RBIs, but strikes out there. Tyson Klingen, another strikeout. I think he's put his name in the hat. I think a strong contender for that player of the game we were mentioning. 5 strikeouts to just 1 walk here through 4 1/3 innings, and only 1 run allowed to go with 2 hits.
He's definitely been really fun to watch tonight. Mixing his speeds. Owning the zone, coming after these hitters, and they've only got 1 hit to show for it. That's what the scoreboard says, but you got 2 on your stat sheet. I got 2 on my stat sheet.
Yep.
Yeah, so 2 hits, I believe.
Klingen, again, this is his most extended outing so far of the season, at least for the Sunday Morning League. He struck out 16. Oh, some chin music there to Busby. Lost that one inside, but Klingen struck out 16 in 13 innings at Highland Community College this past year, so if he can keep on pitching like this, he could emerge as one of their top arms potentially for next season. As Busby, who struck out his first time up, still looking for his first hit of the season. Busby is, even though he is in red, he is a blue boy, and there's his first hit of the season.
And it
got past the center fielder. He's digging for second. He's going to be in there safely.
Standing.
Keegan Busby, we said the Illinois College Blue Boys. They are, and Busby gets his first hit, so not sure how that one will officially be scored, but he'll at least have the single there. Not sure if they're going to say he advanced to second on the throw or via an error. Maybe they'll give him a double. But either way, he's at second with 1 out for Hankins. 4 for 10 on the year with 2 RBIs and 1 double. Big swing and a miss there. Klingen, another nice breaking ball. Hankins was one of the best batters for the Carl Sandburg Chargers this past year. Hit .320. 5 homers and 27 RBIs, 10 stolen bases as well. So you can't let him get on base, otherwise he might try and steal some bags. Still has not stolen a base yet in the Sunday Morning League yet, though, this year. Klingen sets for the 1-2. Nice looking pitch, drops in there and freezes Hankins for the second time tonight. That's a big one there to rebound from that single. Now instead of having potentially runners on the corners or a run scored, now you just have 2 outs and a runner on second. So much easier situation here to work in for Klingen.
The Reds need a clutch hit here if they're going to try to cut the lead in half. But Noah could do that. Noah's the type of guy who he's tough. He knows the situation, and he knows a base hit to the outfield could edge the Reds a little bit closer.
Some cloud cover coming in here at the east side center. Funk drops it over to the right side. Westerdahl, a little bit of a low throw over to Turnquist, but it doesn't matter. You get the 3rd out, and Crusens puts up another 0 on the scoreboard. Or rather, Tyson Klingen, I should say, was responsible for that 0 there in the bottom of the 5th. 3 straight scoreless frames here from Dave Rogers Field at the East Side Center.
We'll try to get you some scores from around the league.
Yes, go ahead.
I've got some matchups for you. I don't have the scores quite yet, but taking place over at ICC right now. The Poor Brothers Jacks are taking on the Tin Lizard Titans at Peoria Richwoods High School. The Peoria Legion squad is playing at 6 o'clock the Brienzo's Orioles, and at 8 o'clock the Move Smart Mariners. They're both taking on Mike Dunn. We've just referenced Mike earlier tonight. Mike Dunn, former Major Leaguer, former Olympian, is the head coach of the Peoria Legion squad. The Peoria Legion is not a member of the Sunday Morning League, but the Legion squad will play against all 8 teams in our league once, and so it's a good chance for that young group of guys to compete and play against this league's caliber, and they compete well, and those are always highly contested games. So that's tonight at Richwoods, and then at 8 o'clock over at ICC will be my Miller Lite Falcons taking on the Firehouse Pizza Expos.
To see how they fare without their MVP, Tim Cundiff. We'll have to see.
If this game wraps up in time,
you might be able to head on over there.
We'll be able to get a doubleheader in tonight.
Yeah.
So that's the plan. Got my uniform in the car.
There you go. Always ready. Yeah, I got a quick score of the one of the games tonight. Poor Bros is up 5-4 on Tin Lizard right now, so a close game brewing between them. Don't have a score for Brienzo's and the Peoria Legion right now, but
Poor Bros is in first place. They're at 5-1, and for the Titans to be right there with them, that could say a lot right there. Could George Kruzik's squad even up their record? They're sitting at 2-3, and that would be a big win for the Titans if they could pull that one out.
Certainly could be. As that one popped up, Kelch has this one lined up and makes the catch on the infield apron to retire. That was Easton Steck. They're the first batter of the 6th inning for the Royals and their shortstop. Now here comes Colin Dallaire. He struck out back in the 2nd, singled back in the 4th for his first hit of the season. Dallaire was mainly a pitcher for the Eureka Red Devils this past year, through 7 1/3 innings in 9 games, so we'll see relief work. 2 strikeouts with 8 walks so far in his freshman years, but he's still got some time. Again, that was just his freshman year, so see what Dallaire can do down the road. He is a former basketball star for Jeremy Crouch and the Pekin Dragons as well. Big swing and a miss there. Another nice breaking ball from Roy Ralston.
He had a cut. He wanted to plug the gap with that one right there.
Here's the 1-2 with 1 out. Nobody on. Down in the dirt. Ralston came in today, struggled a little bit. Came in today with an 0-1 record, a 16.8 ERA, but not many innings pitched, just 1.2. So not much you can extrapolate from those 1 2/3 innings. Had 2 strikeouts, 3 walks. That one rides inside. If Crusens wants to get a comeback going, it will be, I think the next frame, the bottom of the 6th, would be a good time to do so. They'll have Travis Grant, Frank Kelch, and Logan Van Hookland. That's their 3, 4, 5 batters due up. So that may be the time for them. It's time for another K, Roy Ralston says. He strikes out Dallaire, and he has done some nice work so far. 1 2/3 innings, 1 strikeout, and just 1 walk. As that brings in Troy Westerdahl. He's got a game-high 2 RBIs. Westerdahl went to high school at Henry Sinaquine. He was a Mallard, one of the more unique high school mascots in the area, and team that I don't believe Westerdahl was on this team, but Henry Sinaquine went to state last year and down in Class 1A, made a little bit of a Cinderella run and ended their year at Dozer Park.
Can we get a mallard on the pond is what he's thinking right now. You know, that's what
that's a good one.
The Ducks.
I'm a big fan of mallards as actual ducks. I think they are good-looking creatures.
Saw a whole bunch of them. I was in upstate Western New York this past
Wow.
week, and was out of the Finger Lakes and
Sure.
on a boat excursion, and saw a tremendous fleet of mallards, Canadian geese, some tremendous wildlife in Western New York.
2-1 goes high there to Westerdahl, New York, not a state I've ever been to, but, maybe this is an unpopular opinion. I would say that, potentially if I were to visit this state, I'd say that, the sort of that kind of woods, lakesy area like the Finger Lakes and the Adirondacks, I think would be equally as appealing to me as New York City. I do like cities, but I think that New York, I think, also has got some good scenery in the state as well.
Spot on. Been to New York City several times, but there's nothing that beats the beautiful terrain, some of the best state parks in the country. Letchworth State Park, Watkins Glen State Park, the Finger Lakes. You've got Niagara Falls, and
Yep.
you've got some beautiful parts of the country. Next time you go out to Cooperstown, head to the Baseball Hall of Fame, where the Sunday Morning League is on the shelves in Cooperstown. Our documentary, which tells the story of our 100th season, was shown at the film festival that they have every year at the Cooperstown. Best baseball films in the country. We were the feature film in 2016.
Wow.
The story of the Sunday Morning League called There Will Be Baseball. So you can tell your friends that the Sunday Morning League is in the Hall of Fame. Our film, our documentary is. So if you're heading out to want to see a part of the country you've not been to, I recommend you take a trip through the Finger Lakes, a trip through Western New York, go to Cooperstown, and really see some baseball history at the mothership.
And certainly, that's also a place I need to go to as well. The Baseball Hall of Fame. Never been there. That's certainly on the bucket list, though. I will get out there someday. I know for sure. I've been to the Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. I've been to the World Golf Hall of Fame down in Florida before it was recently moved to Pinehurst, North Carolina, where there's the U.S. Open this week. So those of you that are PGA Tour fans, obviously big week for all the golf out there. But I think we're officially kind of in that time of the year where really the biggest main sport going on right now is just baseball.
I was going to ask you before we get full into baseball, Celtics, Mavericks. Are you following the NBA Finals at all? Is that
little bit? I haven't been following a ton of the NBA playoffs. I'm more of a little bit of a college basketball guy. I love college basketball a lot more than
I'm with you completely.
than the NBA. But I'm sure I'll tune into a couple games. It just kind of depends on what I've got going on each night. And I think, most nights I'd rather be out actually watching it in my own two eyes and broadcasting it rather than just sitting at home on my TV and, watching the Celtics and the Mavericks. But I'm sure it'll be a good series. I think, Celtics have obviously been very good this year. I'm a huge fan of Jaylen Brown. I think he's a great player. But, Luka Doncic as well has just been, sort of on that next level, two for the Mavericks. I know our Joey Wright, co-founder of CSM, is rooting for the Mavericks. He's a big Dallas fan, so.
No, yeah, best of luck to both teams there, but you are spot on. Nothing beats baseball. Nothing beats America's pastime. Nothing beats seeing the game live. I hope you're enjoying watching on Clutch Sports, but, next time your team's playing, come on out to the ballpark and watch the Sunday Morning League live and smell the pine tar and have a hot dog and have some popcorn and watch some really talented ball players here compete at a high level.
Travis Grant up to bat. He's a pretty talented ball player. That one is skied a mile high.
That's a tough play. That's a very tough play. That's a great play. Great play. Once again, Colin. He's really fighting for that player of the game honors there. What a snag by the third baseman.
I thought that ball was going to be Smith's as soon as I saw it go off the bat, the catchers, but Dallaire charged in, dropped his hat. His hat is still off of his head right now, but he doesn't need a hat to make the play.
No, hats are optional when it comes to catching a fly ball like that. When you're full speed, full tilt like he was, and you were not kidding. That was a mile high. That was a Travis Grant major league pop fly.
Indeed, it was. As here's Frank Kelch. He'll look to send the ball major league distance here. He's certainly got the power for it, but he's 0 for 2 today. Cleanup batter for the Reds, and again, the reigning league MVP, where last year he hit .347 with 5 homers and 23 RBIs.
you said it yourself. If the Reds want to get back in this game, this is the half inning. They've got to do something. They've got to find a way to get some base runners. Got to find a way to put some more tallies on the board. You get the meat of your order. You got the MVP of your team and of the league. Digging in.
Van Hooklen on deck and Petcher in the hole. Both of them have reached so far tonight, and Kelch is now ahead 3-1. So big opportunity here to Kelch for maybe just grab a hold of something here. If not, just maybe take the walk on down to first. Again, base runners are your best friend right now for the Reds. Pops this one up and out of play. I think Kelch probably breathing a sigh of relief to see that one leave the field.
Hat or no hat, Dallaire could not have caught that one. He would have tried, though. He's covered a lot of ground at third base tonight.
He has been certainly the defensive player of the game so far, maybe potentially the overall player of the game. Here's a 3-2 to the tank. Swing and a miss. They get the strikeout there. As I believe Mason Diedrich on the mound again. Apologize, should have got him introduced earlier, but Mason Diedrich, number 11 for the Kohl's Diamond Gallery Royals, on the mound right now, and that's a big strikeout there of Frank Kelch.
He's a difference maker. He can come into the game and he can bring the cheddar, as you saw right there. And I mean, he is coming in to face their best and pop out, strike out.
So Tyson Klingen's day is through 5 innings. He is in line for the win if the Royals are able to hang on. 2 high pitches there from Diederich. You know, one thing about Kohl's, obviously, you know, I know it was a kind of a trademark of their team last year, and it obviously helps that you have Josh Caruso. That one popped up in foul. But, you know, a team that's always had some pretty good pitchers. You know, obviously Caruso leads it. You got Travis Lutz again, who pitches at the Division I level. How about that sun coming out? Wow.
This is a beautiful night at the ballpark, but all of a sudden the elements have just changed. Some of the fielders are not wearing sunglasses. Toby's are on the top of his hat. Our second baseman does not even have a pair with him, and they're going to need them if there's a line shot hit their direction.
Yeah,
the sun is tough this time of day here.
And that's Westerdahl again over at second for Kohl's, and Turnquist over at first. Van Hooklen with 2 outs faces a 3-1. That one drops in the bottom outside part of the zone for strike 2. Van Hooklen didn't quite think so. Came into today 2 for 11 with a double and an RBI. And he's still at that with a walk and hit by pitch so far today. Lays off there. Good play discipline from Van Hooklen, who still doesn't have an at-bat to his name so far today. He's got 2 walks and hit by pitch, but he's found ways to get on base, and that's what Crusens needs.
He scored their only run tonight, and so if that says something right there, you've got your the only guy who knows what home plate feels like. He's been there tonight, and can he get back there? We'll find out.
So that'll bring up Ashton Petcher. And he had limited action coming into today, was 1 for 2 with a strikeout, 1 walk, 1 stolen base, 1 run. So he's done a bit of it all, but he's had a strikeout and a single here tonight. I like to see how aggressive they are with Van Hooklen over at first. Remember, last time he was on base, they pinch ran him with Jackson Hicks, who was then eventually caught in that pickle over at third. I think if Kohl's does hang on to win this game, I think Crusens is going to look back at this and say, hey, you know, that's a potential run that we really could have used.
It's a turning point in the game right there. I mean, they were trying to start a rally. They had something going here. That was a critical base running situation there. You've got coaching first base. You've got Trent Jordan over here, another veteran of the league, a veteran for the Reds, and a guy who also knows how to steal a base or two, but it's not going to come in handy there because Van Hooklen didn't even leave first base after the strikeout.
Yeah, Diederich got the K looking for Ashton Petcher, so another 0 on the scoreboard in the bottom of the 6th for the Kohl's Diamond Gallery Royals. They lead at 4-1. Here as we head into the final frame, a chance to add some insurance runs here in the top of the 7th. want to thank all of our sponsors that help make tonight's broadcast possible, starting with BodyArmor, the official sports drink of the Peoria Sunday Morning League, for supreme hydration before, during, or after a game, or maybe you just want something refreshing. BodyArmor, your choice for sports drinks. And also by Kohl's Diamond Gallery up in Galesburg. One of the best rings, watches, necklaces, bracelets, you name it. Kohl's Diamond Gallery has got you covered with all the best. Also by Crusens, 3 area locations in Peoria, War Memorial, Farmington Road, and Route 29 in Creve Coeur. It's Crusens, duh, as they say. Beautiful sunset here in East Peoria. Our cameraman Josh Messenger is giving you a great look at it right now, just bathing Dave Rogers Field in gold. We've seen a tightly contested ball game so far between the Royals and the Reds. 109th season of the Peoria Sunday Morning League. Again, Keith Kelly Day as well, big day in the league. And that's why we're playing on Tuesday. We want to play on Keith Kelly Day for sure. So
the Sunday morning, okay, we're called the Sunday Morning League, and so Sunday is our home base. But we have always played on a midweek game, typically a Wednesday night. But for a special situation, it was on June 11th of 1950. June 11th, 1950, when the color barrier of the Sunday Morning League was broken by the trailblazer himself, Keith Kelly. We wanted to keep that nod to him and move our games this week from Wednesday to Tuesday, and it turned out to be a beautiful night, and so we are happy to honor Keith and honor his family, who last year was out here for a ceremonial first pitch before the game and proclamations from across the state of Illinois. It was a special moment, and we will carry his name on as the history of this league continues. Keith Kelly will be right there front and center.
Yes, Connor Drowns will hit the top of the 7th started with a foul ball. Drowns so far today has walked and grounded out to the pitcher on a nice play that was made back in the 4th inning. And after Drowns, it'll be back to the top of the order and Cole Tanner. Drowns, the left-hander. Always like to see the left-handers as one of them myself.
Those southpaws, there's something about it, right?
It really is. It's it's an advantage in some sports. I think lefties have an advantage, at least a lot of time in batting in baseball. Pitching, obviously most of the time you're going against, most batters are obviously right-handed, so you're kind of at a little bit of a disadvantage there, but some pitchers are able to overcome it. Some other sports it comes in handy. Football, I feel like it probably wouldn't really matter that much.
Of course, you've had some left-handed quarterbacks,
You do? Michael Vick was one.
Not many. I can think of Boomer Esiason.
Yep. I think I want to say
Tua.
Yep, Tua Tagovailoa is left-handed. Yep. So
he's a talented player, and it's
yep.
really impressive to see him come back from that horrific injury and playing really well for the Dolphins. We've got a Packer fan sitting next to you. We've got some green and gold representation here. As we're talking football, we're talking baseball, but tonight we're talking.
Drowns looks at a strike there. He was about ready to toss his bat and head down to first base, but that one just nipped the corner. On a football-related note, as the 3-2 comes in. That one is high, so Drowns does indeed draw the walk. I think this is Tim. Not want to get your take on it. I think this is going to be the Bears' year. I think this is finally the year they at least finish over 500.
A lot of questions going into the draft. Were they going to trade Justin Fields? Were they going to keep Justin Fields? Were they going to take Caleb Williams? Were they going to trade that? Now it's come and gone. Now you have it. So the roster has been set. You have Caleb Williams. Will he be the next coming? Will he be the man to turn that program around? I know that a lot of people are really excited about it. A lot of the Bears folks are. As a Packer fan, as a loyal Packer cheesehead myself, I have to say, I have to commend the Bears. But they've done a great job on trying to build this, and we will see. I love this guy named Jordan up in Green Bay.
Jordan,
I'm excited with the youth
movement
movement that the Packers have done. Some question the Rodgers handling of do you keep with Rodgers? Do you transition things? And I'd like to give it to Gutekunst and the Packers organization. I mean, they've really, truly positioned themselves. Lots of young players, lots of young, talented weapons on the team, both receivers, receiving core, and watch out for some breakout. I'm going to say the NFC North.
I think it might be the best division
in football. I'm going to say top to bottom. The Detroit Lions are
going to be good.
They're a real deal. They're a force.
Yep.
The Vikings might be the question mark. They just signed Justin Jefferson, but they might be the question mark in that division.
I would agree.
And I think the Bears are going to be much improved. But watch out for the Pack. There you go. There's my NFL report here from
from the Sunday Morning League. The NFL report you didn't ask for, but you got it anyway. As Connor Drowns walked and then stole second base, so even though the 4-1 lead, final inning, Kohl's still aggressive on the base pass, and hey, why not try and get that extra insurance run? Nobody's out. 2-2 here to Cole Tanner, who's 1 for 3 with a single and an RBI. Tanner, one of the team leaders on the Royals in a couple batting categories this year. Now count is run full again. Top of the order here for the Royals. Mike Dunn is on deck, and Turnquist is in the hole. Turnquist has reached base all 3 times today, so Roy Ralston would want to get out of this one as soon as possible, and looks like Tanner, I believe, got hit on the foot on that one.
Looked like off the elbow. I
elbow,
thought it came across. Maybe you were obstructed with your view, but I thought it caught his armor, we'll call it, on his elbow.
Makes you glad that you wear those elbow guards. A lot of those are becoming more popular, as well as those sliding mitts, those oven gloves that we talked about earlier.
Oven mitts. I mean, have we checked? Are the cookies done? Are the cookies done? Earlier we had.
I would sure hope that they'd probably be done by this point. Because if they're still in the oven, they'd probably be burnt. And then again, though, I'm not the cookie baking expert. Again, I can't say I make them too often at.
What's your game day snack? Game day snack. Are you a hot dog? Got you a popcorn? Got you nachos? What's your going to the ballpark?
Going to the ballpark. I'm a big bratwurst fan. Right. I think that's I'm.
That's a Packers fan.
I'm from Wisconsin,
okay,
so I'm from Wisconsin, but I'm not a Packers fan. I was born in Wisconsin, moved down to Illinois for 11 years, then moved back to Wisconsin for 5 years, then came back to Illinois, went to Bradley, and now I'm living here. So I've been ping-ponging back and forth, but I grew up most of my life, again, in the Quad Cities area, so figured, my sports teams are all over the place. I'm a Cardinals fan in baseball.
There you go.
Bears fan in football, Bucks fan in basketball, so I kind of pick and choose.
We can't have a conversation. I love hearing your story here. You're bouncing back and forth from Wisconsin. We can't have a discussion about bratwurst and ballpark food without referencing the breaking news of the day.
Oh, yeah.
Hot dog eating king, the legend, the GOAT of all time, Joey Chestnut, has been banned from this year's hot dog eating competition. Is that fact? Is that true?
Yeah, that is true. That was all over the news today. As Mike Dunn singles, brings in a run. Drown slides in home plate. And there's that insurance run that the Royals wanted. They still could get some more. Nice piece of hitting there from the Limestone alum Mikey Dunn.
It's a great arm from the outfield there on a laser, just a bit late though, and the Royals are adding to their lead.
That was Jack Barham, who again is pitched a little bit for the Reds this season, and looks like we're going to have a conference on the mound. Looks like that might be it for Roy Ralston. It will be, so he'll be responsible for the runners on first and third. We'll get a pitching change here after we'll have Dunn at first and Tanner at third.
So Joey Chestnut.
Yeah.
Banned from we have some time here during the pitching change. Banned from the Nathan's famous hot dog eating 16-time champion.
Unbelievable.
This is shocking news. A spokesman for MLE, that's Major League Eating, told ESPN that Chestnut had chosen to, quote, represent another hot dog brand and therefore not allowed to participate in the Nathan's contest, which is held annually on Coney Island in New York City on Independence Day, on July 4th. This is an uproar. I mean, this is
big news. Big news.
There's never been. I mean, there's been Kobayashi, but has there ever been someone as decorated as Joey Chestnut?
No, I mean, I think of eating hot dogs, and I think of Joey Chestnut right away, and that's really by and large the only person I think of. Really, I mean, he's an iconic. I don't know if you would call him a sports figure. I think there's probably some people out there that would call that major league eating a sport. I don't know. I probably fall on the line of more so that's a hobby game or activity rather than an actual sport.
Here's the comment
still.
from the event organizer, MLE event organizer George Shea says, this situation would be like Michael Jordan saying to Nike, I'm going to represent Adidas also. But if he did that, would they ban Michael Jordan from competing in the NBA? So that's the question. I mean, that's really.
I'm not sure where Joey Chestnut sponsorship deals like if he had a previous deal with Nathan's and then jump ship. I don't know. I do know that I saw that I believe the brand that he went with instead rather than Nathan's, I believe was it a vegan hot dog brand? That makes no sense to me. I mean, this is coming from a guy who's not a vegan himself, and and nothing against the vegans out there, but it's a hot dog. It's supposed to be meat. It's I don't know. That's just my take on it. I'm sure a lot of other people would have their own opinions on it. Impossible hot dog is the type of hot dog he's going with right now. So
right here is the final statement from MLE, and this is what folks should take with you tonight. Joey Chestnut is an American hero. We would love nothing more than to have him at the Nathan's famous International Hot Dog Eating Contest, which he has dominated for years. We hope that he returns when he is not representing a rival brand. So it's not a permanent ban. It's just a ban while he has representation of the arch nemesis.
That's good to know. Yeah. Good to know. And
I met Joey Chestnut last year
really?
in Toronto, Canada.
How about that?
He was at a Blue Jays game doing a special meet and greet, and I got a picture with Joey Chestnut, got an autograph. I mean, this is remarkable. I mean, that's the GOAT. That's the Michael Jordan of his sport.
Now we're talking about eating. Jace Wilkerson, the new Crusens pitcher, is hoping to eat up some innings, but Royals tack on another run there. A RBI single from Toby Turnquist spanked that right up the middle, and I think
Turnquist was licking his lips when he saw that cheese right there, and he drove it right through center field. Toby's having a phenomenal night here, really, from his first at bat, the deep home run to right center, and he has not slowed down. He's been on the bases every chance.
Still nobody out here in the top of the seventh. Royals have already scored 2. Here's the player manager, Welker. That one misplayed by the second baseman, Petcher, and the throw is off the mark. So Welker will reach first. Bases will be juiced with nobody out for Braylon Smith. Not the inning that the Reds were hoping for here. Okay, went into it down by 3, but could come out of it down by quite a bit if Kohls can keep this streak running. 5 players have batted and no one's gotten out yet. So Smith, who walked in the second and singled in the third, popped out to shortstop back in the 5th.
So the Ducks have been on the pond this inning, or the Mallards have been on the pond this inning for sure.
Yes,
they're not taking their foot off the gas tonight.
They certainly haven't. Their
bats have been alive all game long. This is going to raise their team batting average for sure. Coming into the game, Kohl's Diamond Gallery was tied for the league lead team batting average with the Miller Lite Falcons at 266. Tonight's performance, 8 more hits to drive that batting average even higher.
Here's the 1-1, nearly grazes Smith's foot right there, but he hops out of the way. Smith was a 2-time All-Mid-Illini Conference player at Morton High School, said and his favorite athlete, and this may come as no surprise because he's a catcher, was Yadier Molina.
I like that suggestion right there. I'm in full agreement. We miss Yadi in St. Louis, that's for sure.
Yes, we certainly do. As he watches that one go outside.
Do you see Molina stepping into a managerial role at some point? And if so, how soon? And can he be there by the All-Star break?
Yeah, everything I've heard about Yadi, seems to indicate that he doesn't want to. I know. I think that can change. I think that maybe eventually, as Smith gets hit, and that he'll get an RBI the hard way. So that'll make it now 7-1 Royals. But I think it's certainly down the road. I think Yadier Molina could. I think it'd certainly be well cut out for it. I think maybe just right now might not be the time for him. Obviously, if there was any replacement, I think for Ali Marmol, I think you gotta consider that. And this is coming from a Cardinals fan myself.
And I'm not saying let's
but
get rid of Ali this very second. It's been a really frustrating start. It's been a frustrating year and a half. They've shown some momentum here, and I think the NL Central is putting you in a division where you can kind of still maintain around 500 and still be in the hunt. And so that's kind of what they're looking at.
Yeah, they actually had a pretty good stretch a little bit back going on in, I believe, earlier in May. So they're not doing terrible.
Some Peoria Chiefs doing well. Mason Wynn really
Yep.
having a phenomenal season, both in the field and at the plate.
Yeah.
What was it, 16, 17 game hit streak?
Something like that. I know he's hitting over 300 this year. So here's Easton Steck. He's came into this one not quite hitting 300, but close to it. Was 3 for 11. Again, that was coming into today. He's now 4 for 15 after he doubled back in the second and popped out twice. Steck went to University of Illinois Springfield. Just wrapped up his freshman year. He did not play his freshman year, but hoping to get out onto the field. The Galesburg alum is this upcoming season. Here's the 2-1. That one goes past Van Hooklen, and a runner's going to score here for the Royals. Their fourth run of the inning. That was Turnquist coming across as now Welker moves up to third. Smith moves over to second. And the Reds just want an out in any way possible right now as there is still nobody out.
They've lost their force opportunity now, and so the infield is playing back at this point. They're
So we'll get a pinch runner here, JT Kaiser, former Tremont Turk, coming in to run for his manager Welker, who, whenever he called that one himself, just said, "Hey, JT, get in here and run for me. I'm tired."
Well, he was working on that bum ankle, and so it makes you wonder, was Welker feeling it tightening up, or just didn't want to push anything when you're up by 7 and now you're up by 8 with that wild pitch right there.
So Steck draws the walk. Kaiser comes across the score, so he comes on the field and comes right back off of it after he crosses home. So long inning continuing for the Royals. Runners on first and third now as Jace Wilkerson, again on the mound for the Reds, has been struggling a bit. Unless I'm mistaken, don't believe he's pitched this year. If so, he hasn't pitched very much. As it's Colin Delaire, who's 1 for 3 with a single. And on the appeal,
ties him up right there.
Yeah, he just barely went.
Yeah.
Second game of the week. It's around 2 for 2 in PSML Games of the Week on Clutch Sports Media, where there's been a late scoring outburst. Last week it was 9 runs in the 5th by the Tin Lizard Titans, and then 3 in the 6th. Kohl's right now is 5 so far in the top of the 7th, and they're still cooking with runners on the corners and nobody out. As Delaire,
double play right here, and it's
runners going, so they're not going to happen there.
The Royals are seeing into that's what the Reds needed to get out of this inning, and the Royals put the green light on.
So runners on second and third now. Force is gone. Delaire faces the 1-2. Chance for 2 RBIs with a potential base hit. Not on that pitch, though. Watches that one in the dirt. Looks like we may see a pinch hitter if we probably will. It's Brian Cummings on deck. Rather,
the big lefty, another league veteran, another stalwart for the Royals club, and Great to see him get an AB right here, and can he keep the onslaught going? He's a threat. He's a threat from the left-hand side.
He'll come in for Troy Westerdahl, so Cummings, who was a first-team Midwest Collegiate Conference pick at Ashford University back in 2009. I had to do my research on that one. That one I had reached the depths of the internet to. I was doing player research before this one, but Cummings, a good player historically, and so far this year he's 1 for 4 with 2 strikeouts.
I love seeing your homework. You really dive in, and that's what we've seen nothing but highest coverage from the Clutch squad here. John, you and the team have done a lot to dig some details, and Cummings digs that one. It was a low pitch, and he takes it inside outs to swing and adds to the lead for the Royals.
There's Cummings' first 2 RBIs of the year on his second hit. So the decision to pinch hit works out well as the parade continues for the Kohl's Diamond Gallery Royals. And at this point now they have officially batted around. The inning started with this man, Counter Drowns. Although no, it's going to be a pinch hitter for Drowns. It's number 55. I don't have a number 55 on my roster, so we'll see if we can figure out who this is. But either way, pinch hitter here for the Royals after it was Drowns who led off the inning with a walk and a stolen base. And hit by pitch, single error, hit by pitch, walk. Strikeout then, that single there from Cummings. It's the 0-1 with 1 out. That's a strike there. Wilkerson trying to get out number 2, potentially could get out number 3 again with a double play ball up the middle. Crusens' job for them at the plate just got a whole lot tougher. They're going to need at least 9 in the bottom of the 7th to either keep this one going or take the win. Here's the 1-2 as the sun begins to set just a little bit. Big swing and a miss there, and Wilkerson gets his second strikeout of the inning. So that's been the silver lining for him, is even though he's allowed lots of runs. Go ahead.
That was Ryan Dunn making it with the man we referenced earlier tonight. I believe that was Ryan Dunn.
No way.
Pitch. Absolutely.
The former Milwaukee Milkman and minor league baseball player.
He's a phenomenal pitcher. Really, really actually can bring it. And you got a chance to get an AB. So good for Ryan tonight.
Now we're back to the top of the order. We'll get another pinch hitter. How about that? Carter Piercy digging in now. He's 0 for 4 on the year. The left-hander is struck out twice. Piercy, like Keith Kelly, is a Peoria High Lion. He faces the 1-0. A nice play there by Van Hooklen, preventing that from reaching the backstop. Next week on the Sunday Morning League Game of the Week on Clutch Sports Media, you can look forward to the Tim Cundiff's very own Miller Lite Falcons taking on the Brienzo's Orioles.
Yeah, good matchup. It's going to be a good matchup of 2 winged creatures,
yep.
The Falcon and the Oriole. One of the longest-running sponsors in the league and one of the newest sponsors in the league from Miller Lite. Baumgarten Distributing has been a sponsor in the league for almost 50 years.
Wow.
And then you've got Brienzo's, and this is their second year as a sponsor, Brienzo's Wood-Fired Pizza in Peoria Heights. It's going to be a good matchup next Wednesday. Looking very much forward to it, and you should too. You should tune in next week or coming out to Dave Rogers Field to watch that game live next Wednesday. We'll be back to our regular midweek Wednesday night broadcast. Tonight was a special Tuesday night feature in tribute to Keith Kelly, the Central Lion, bringing it full circle right here. Keith Kelly, the man who if you're just tuning in, Keith Kelly in the year 1950 on this date, June 11th, broke the color barrier in the Peoria Sunday Morning League, the first African-American to play in our league. We honor Keith Kelly today and every year on June 11th. Took a lot of research to find all of the archives from I spent a lot of hours in the basement of the Peoria Public Library going through the articles and finding the documentation to determine the day. We knew the year and we knew the name, but we didn't know the day. I had to spend a lot of hours in downtown Peoria in the stacks of the library to figure that out. But Daryl Klusendorf, former league president, current Hall of Honor member, Veterans Committee member, he recalls the story beautifully, and he was there at the meeting when Ed Sowers, league president, came and made the declaration at the end of a Sunday morning league board meeting that he was going to be making history, and he wasn't asking for anyone's permission. He wasn't asking. He was telling that on Sunday, Keith Kelly was going to pitch for the Cohen's Ball Club, and on that Sunday, on June 11th, he sure did, and he changed our game locally here, and we're proud to honor him moving forward.
Talk about doing the research before the broadcast. I can't say I've ever done any research, or at least much research, much less for a broadcast. I'm not saying that you did that. You dug that up just for today's broadcast. I'm sure you did before last year, but the basement of the library is that's when you know that you're in the deep stuff.
It was the microfilm is what it is. I was not looking through newspaper. I was looking through microfilm and rolling it through the machine, rolling, trying to find the sports section. Is there an article on today's date? No, keep rolling till the next day, and it was a fun project, and really thrilled to be able to kind of unearth that history and so that we can tell that history and share that story. And that's what leagues like this and the history of the tradition is to share it for generation after generation, as we've done for 109 years.
And Jace Wilkerson strikes out Mikey Dunn to end the inning, so it ends with a 6-run top of the 7th for the Kohl's Diamond Gallery Royals. Crusens will have to put up 9 here in the bottom of the 7th. If they want to keep this one going, they have to score 10 if they want to win. So stay tuned to see if they can make the monumental comeback. Maybe if they drink some BodyArmor, they could get fueled up to do so. The official sports drink of the Peoria Sunday Morning League. BodyArmor for superior hydration before, during, and after the game. It's got natural flavors. It got electrolytes, antioxidants, B vitamins as well. I thank BodyArmor for their support of the Sunday Morning League and the Clutch Sports Media Game of the Week. Also by Kohl's Diamond Gallery up in Galesburg. And I thank them for their longtime support of the Peoria Sunday Morning League. And also by Crusens. 3 locations in Peoria and Creve Coeur. Great food, drinks, atmosphere. Crusens has it all. So
take your dads out this weekend.
Yep.
Father's Day, we have games that will be played this weekend across the Sunday Morning League. But come out to the ballpark, support your team, and then take your dad out, take your grandpa out, take your son out, and go and celebrate at Crusens, and maybe go to Kohl's and buy your dad a nice gift. Buy him a nice watch or a pocket watch.
Certainly, and. For Crusens, due up, it will be Jack Barham, the right fielder today. He's singled and popped out to second base. Barham came into today just with 2 at-bats on the year, so he's going to more than double that figure tonight. As Mason Diederich, it appears, back out for a second inning of work. Save situation is going out the window now, at least. Again, we say 4 now. That one hit well to the left side. Nice play, and guess who? It was Colin Dallaire.
The vacuum cleaner himself all night long. I mean, really, the hot corner, it's been hot, and he's cooling it off with his great play there. Good job again, Colin.
Seems like there's been a magnet in his glove tonight, or so it appears. He's been eating those plays up, made that diving play again back in the first to retire Frank Kelch. Go ahead and rewind it. broadcast after we've all finished just to
I know,
take
I'm
another
gonna get
look at
another
that one. That one was
and folks, it wasn't so much. It was the stab was phenomenal. The dive was great, but from the knee, the throw across with something on it, a laser across the field to get a hustling Frank Kelch. It was a beautiful play. We're just glad that Clutch was here to capture that. We can go home.
It will live on forever as long as our YouTube channel lives on,
There
which
we go.
don't see, no end in sight there. Here's Caden Spencer, the Reds' third baseman, 0 for 2 today. Played 15 games at Carl Sandburg this year. Again, I think this is probably the game we're going to see the most Carl Sandburg alums in the Sunday Morning League. Tim, Miller Lite next week. We got them next on tap. Do you have any particular school, high school or college, where a lot of your players hail from at all, or are you kind of a mixing pot for you guys?
It's a good mix, which is great, and that's what you like to see is the interaction. I will say that we have a strong East Peoria tie, East Peoria connection to the Miller Lite squad. I've been playing in the league since the year 2001, and I grew up just on the other side of East Peoria here. And I was recruited to play in the Sunday Morning League, to play on the Miller Lite squad. I'm a product of East Peoria, but I went to Peoria Notre Dame High School.
Okay.
However, the East Peoria nucleus, whether it was Brian Quinn, who still plays and competes, and talk about a legend in the league who still competes to this day, Lance Herlichka, the manager, even the newer generation, some of the younger East Peoria kids with Noah Campbell and Chase Ulrich and several Raiders have played for the Falcons over the years. So if we had to pick a quote unquote home team, I think it would go with East Peoria, but no, it's a good mix. In fact, Lance has done a great job. Our manager has really recruited some great talented ball players to add to the team. As I've said, every team this year, I've been so impressed with how they've just improved their roster, improved the talent. And I think you're going to see it. I think you're going to see a lopsided score when you wake up and look at your box score tomorrow, and you're going to say, holy cow, what happened? The Reds are a solid ball club, and don't let that score fool you. They very easily could be making another run in the postseason tournament. You just never know. They're off to a really slow start, an uncharacteristic start, but that's something special about the league. You don't know what to expect every night. You can't script October, as a wise man once told me.
No, you certainly can't, but Mason Diedrich can script the win, or at least put the finishing touches on it for the Kohl's Diamond Gallery Royals. Strikes out Keegan Busby to end the game. He struck out 4 in his final 2 innings, so great start for Tyson Klingen. Great 2 innings of relief for Mason Diedrich, and the Royals win this one big, 10-1 over the Crusens Reds after a 3-run second and a 6-run 7th, all started in the first, though, with that solo home run from Toby Turnquist to let it all off. And, Tim, I got to say, he's my pick for the player of the game. 2 for 2 with 2 walks, 2 RBIs, a single and a home run. Pretty good game there for the Royals first baseman.
I can't disagree with you, though. I mean, Toby really, like as I said on the call, Toby Turnquist on that pitch and really took it to right center, and that was a statement that I think the Royals made tonight. And if Toby is reminiscent of the whole team here tonight, they've scored 4 runs in the first 2 and 6 in the last inning. They bookended this game. Well, so did he. Home run in the first, a line shot single in the we'll call it the 6th, 7th inning, and a couple of base on balls. So yeah, Toby is a smart pick. I've got to salute though Colin Delaire with the play of the season that I've seen. Really play of the game for sure. Rewind the tape, folks, and you'll enjoy that one. Beautiful night. It's Keith Kelly Day, and we really want to thank everyone for the support and the tribute, which we will continue to share. We're happy to share the history and the tradition of this league, and Keith Kelly is a strong part in that, really a special man, and honored to celebrate history and to celebrate his trailblazing, what he's done for the league, for the community, and June 11th. Keith Kelly Day.
And another memorable Keith Kelly Day is in the books. At least this game is. Other games going on around the league tonight, but that's where we'll leave things off as the sun sets here in East Peoria. I want to thank all of our great broadcast crew that helped make today's broadcast possible. Josh Messenger behind the camera, Patrick Huber producing, Tim Cundiff alongside me, Jonathan Michael in the booth. One more time, I want to thank BodyArmor again for their support of the Sunday Morning League as well. plus Kohls and Crusens for their sponsorship of the Sunday Morning League, and Lori Vinovich, country financial agent in Tremont, Illinois. That's where we'll leave it for tonight. Kohl's Diamond Gallery Royals 10, Crusens Reds 1. Tune in next week, next Wednesday at 6 p.m. We'll have the Miller Lite Falcons, Brienzo's Orioles, next week, Sunday Morning League Game of the Week here on ClutchSportsIL.com and YouTube. Until then, so long, folks. Have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your week. We'll talk to you soon on Clutch Sports Media.